In the world of two wheels, there seems to be a section of the market that's being taken up by the adventure bike. That has been the flavour of the month for a couple of years now, and nobody can predict when it's going to stop, but it seems to be growing stronger and stronger. You've got some big players in there, the likes of BMW, KTM, Honda, Yamaha. The list seems to go on and on. But there's one big player that hasn't seemed to have jumped on that bandwagon. Well, that is until now. We've been invited to the brand new for 2021 VIP launch of the Harley Davidson Pan America. Welcome to GearTorque. Alright Tom, let's start with the big one, the suspension.
There's a semi-active suspension on there from Showa.
Yeah.
And that also lines up with your adaptive ride height, which is obviously one of the main flag features that has come out on this bike. I think it's going to be one of the things that's grabbing a lot of headlines.
Okay.
That obviously, from below 5 miles an hour, when you're under normal braking situations, that'll reduce the ride height of the bike if you've got a adaptive ride height system fitted to it.
Right.
And it'll drop it by about 40 millimetres.
That's quite a lot,
quite
isn't it?
a long way, yeah.
So standard ride height, what would that be?
Standard ride height off the top of my head, you're testing me now, is about 870.
I've got you.
Yeah.
Listen, you're way in the back. Right, and it'll drop down about 40 millimetres.
Yeah, drops down to about 830 or 820.
Okay, so
drop down
for the shorter riders.
For the shorter riders, yeah.
And I guess that's probably going to be one of the biggest selling points of this bike, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's been a point that it's grabbed a lot of attention from a lot of people. The seat is adjustable.
Right.
So there's 2 points of adjustment on the seat that you can drop that down. Yeah. And then Harley Davidson was famous for doing parts and accessories and P&A stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can then get a lower cutout seat as well, so you can drop the seat height. I think the lowest you could get the seat height possible on this is about 790 mil.
That's phenomenal.
So it is really low.
In the big world of adventure bikes, that is
in the world of big tall bikes, you've got a massive dominating road stance.
Yeah.
To have a sprung stance at a set of traffic lights at 790 mil.
Yeah,
it's low.
It is,
and I think that'll bring us to a lot of new
now,
riders.
From the research that I've done, you've got 2 models in this range, haven't you?
So there's 2 different models in the Pan America range.
Okay, so this is the old bells and whistles, all singing, all dancing model.
Full lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels.
Yeah.
1250 special.
And the dare I use the word cheaper, but still just as good model.
We'll go with standard, but
yeah. All right, standard's a good word.
Standard's a good word.
Yeah. All right. The standard version, as I'm led to believe, doesn't come with the trick suspension.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
It comes with your sort of old school adjustable suspension rather than your semi-active. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tell us a bit about the engine, because this is pretty much a new design. Am I right?
Completely.
Yeah.
From the ground up, there is nothing old about this engine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff floating about that it's just a rehashed V-Rod engine, which isn't the case at all.
Right.
The only thing similar to a V-Rod.
I'm glad you said that, because I've heard those rumours as well.
No,
so
it's
not true. Right.
No, we've definitely not worked in conjunction with Porsche on this one.
Right.
So this is completely new. The only similarities this has with a V-Rod is that it's a V-twin and it's a 1250.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's where the similarity stops.
Okay.
Completely all new. It's hydraulic lash valves, variable valve timing. So one of the big pluses on this as well is that you don't have.
That sounded nice.
It did, yeah. Shame it had 4 wheels though.
We like it. We like Tom.
Yeah. So this has got the hydraulic valve lashing. So one of the big things that can be an expensive service on a lot of bikes, it's not necessarily just anything, is your valve service.
Yeah.
Which, from the bike I've got personally, costs an absolute fortune, which obviously with this you don't have to worry about it. Nothing. No,
obviously Harleys are famous for their cruisers, the road glides, and the big machines.
Yeah. But they're famous at this point in time for that.
At this point, but if
you
we
go
rewind the
back
clock
to Harley's heritage,
this is kind of where they started,
flat track racing and things like that. Harley have got a lot of heritage and history in this type of riding.
Yeah.
Not necessarily your off-road adventure riding, but definitely with your off-road flat track racing. Yeah. Harley have got so much history behind them on that front.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily something that's too out of the blue for Harley, but it's still definitely something that's probably shocked a lot of people.
For those that aren't really Harley fans or Harley aficionados, it seems like quite a big leap from what they are accustomed to seeing. But as Tom quite rightly points out, this is going back to their original days, so to speak.
It goes back to what they used to do.
Yeah.
One thing Harley do very well is paint schemes.
Yeah.
And the level of finish on Harley Davidson paint's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Especially on some of the current model years as well.
Is this
those pictures on that don't do them justice.
Sorry, Tom, is this a flat black? Is it?
This is called Vivid Black.
Vivid.
Yeah.
I've just been inspecting this, and this is faultless.
Yeah,
the
it's
paint
spotless.
is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, because
really
the only photograph and the only video that I've seen is it's got the orange.
The orange and white.
So are we talking 2 different paint schemes?
There's 3 different paint schemes. Yeah, so you can get the orange and white.
Yeah.
You can get your Vivid Black.
Yeah.
Or you can get what's called a Deadwood Green. And they're available on the special and the standard. You know, the Japanese brands are known for the build quality and things like that, and everything working perfectly.
Yeah.
Harley are known for your fit and finish.
Yeah.
Harley's known for your chrome, and the bike's looking spotless 24/7.
Is it officially on sale now?
Yes.
Right.
You can buy one if you want.
Right. Got to ride one first. Okay. Who would you say, and I know this is probably going to be an obvious question, but who would you say its direct competitors? What's it aimed at?
So this is a difficult one because obviously, as everyone will know, GS and BMW, the GS and BMW have dominated the adventure riding scene for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think this is obviously squarely aimed at that. There's no denying that. But I think it's also aimed at the people who this will give them an entry point into Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily Harley's way of saying we're going to take 90% of BMW's market share.
Yeah.
I think it's another route for people into the brand and the heritage and the groups like the Harley Owners Group, which are here today. Obviously,
I've seen
the hog stuff.
It's great.
And it just gives you a route into the world of Harley Davidson. And obviously, you've got companies like Tyres. Nearly every company out there's got an adventure bike now. So,
but what it's doing, or what it seems to be doing, is bringing, you know, I suppose anybody, a bit blasé to say it, but I suppose any manufacturer could whip up a bike like this and bring it to the market. Harley have brought a different version of an already existing bike, haven't they?
Yeah.
Especially with that suspension.
And to look at it now, they've done it really well.
Yeah.
You know,
they've
argued before.
Yeah.
They've not gone generic with it, have they?
No, they've made a Harley.
Yeah.
Is what they've done.
Yeah.
They've not necessarily gone for this is what your adventure bikes look like.
Yeah.
This is what they should look like. This is the standard. This is the norm. Yeah. They've gone for a Harley Davidson.
I've got to say, within a very short space of time, when I first saw and again we're going back to that, what you see in a photograph versus what you see in real life. The headlight, for me, and I would imagine you've heard this so many times. People have gone, no, what have you done? You know, it's got a face that a mother could love.
Yeah.
But in real life,
no, when you see him in person, it's completely different.
It's grown on me already.
Yeah. I think the bike's got a stance to it. I think if the bike was narrower, it wouldn't have been able to pull off that look. So
just to talk us through a couple of bits that are on it, and we can dive into things in greater depth when we do get to test ride. We've got the TFT screen, which all the big boys seem to be doing nowadays. Brand new for this model, or
There's no other Harley with that on at the moment.
Right. Do you think that this is going to be something that's going to be?
No, they do have touch screens and things like that, but they're not TFT screens. So things like the big Taurus, like the Street Glide Ultra and Road Glide and the Road Glide Limited, they've all got touch screens and colour touch screens, but they don't have the TFT dashes.
So this is the next generation for Harley, and probably will get rolled out.
Yeah, more than likely within the next model year. So I'd imagine it would go onto the touring range as well.
And very much like most of the other ones, do you control a lot through there, or is a lot? Because I noticed that there's a lot of buttons.
It's a bit of both.
Right.
It's a bit of both. You can do everything through the dash, but not when you're riding. So obviously it's probably a safety mechanism of not wanting to start.
So I presume this side is taking care of what's going on there.
Yeah, so this side will take care of your screen, so that's your standard navigation buttons.
Yeah.
To fiddle with the screen, your home button and things like that. And this changes you, try to think of the actual word for it, but I'll call it app overlay.
Okay.
So which screens overlay other ones.
Talking of sat-nav, is it a dedicated built-in unit, or does it run off your phone?
No, so it runs through your phone.
Right, okay.
So there's no sat-nav built into that, but what you can get is called the HD Connect app.
Right.
And your maps and everything go through there. So that pings from your phone to the bike and then to your headset.
Okay.
The maps run through your app and your music runs through your app.
Right, okay.
Which will actually bring up a turn. So basically on the third of the screen here, or there and thereabouts, that'll actually bring up a turn-by-turn sat-nav navigation or your music.
Yeah.
And you'll control your music with this here. We'll just wait for them lot to leave so you can still hear me.
Yeah, they're the boys, aren't they? But that's what I think a lot of people associate. That's your Harley. Yeah. I mean, yes, we know it is a relatively small market in the UK.
Yeah.
But in what the? Never bonus footage there.
Never question what you can do with a Harley. if there's a part on one of the touring models or the soft tails that we can't change and we can't modify, I'll give you 20 quid. There we go.
So it's a 2-part seat.
It's a 2-part seat.
Yeah.
I can get the bugger up. Brand new bike, it's stiff.
Okay. Oh,
So
I like that. That's
a
I like that. Yeah, a bit of storage space.
Yeah.
That's nice to see.
Coming from the bikes I used to ride, so I used to be more dealing with sports bikes and everything like that.
Yeah.
And that's slowly disappearing on bikes. That little space is slowly disappearing. You go back to the, obviously I'm only 24, but you go back to the sort of mid to late 90s and the early 2000s in sports bikes.
Yeah.
You could fit a school bus underneath the back seat, whereas now you'd struggle to get. I mean, I'm from Yorkshire, I'm tight, I never carry cash. And
Tell me about it.
I couldn't get my wallet underneath mine.
Good God, how much money have you got? That is nice to see, though. That genuinely is.
And you've obviously got your little toolkit as well that comes under there.
Yeah.
With this as well, you've already got the wiring done for your heated clothing.
Brilliant.
So there's little.
And that's all part and parcel of it.
That's all part and parcel.
It's the little details that make a difference.
I think Brembo have worked specifically with Harley for these. So rather than like BMW or sports bike brands where they go with the M50 monoblocks and things like that, I think Brembo have worked with Harley Davidson to make the ones for this bike rather than just going off the shelf.
Very personal. Yeah. So obviously that has been specifically designed.
Yeah, and obviously they are radially mounted monoblocks as well.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got that stiffness and the rigidity from your braking as well, rather than going for your axially mounted ones. So you've got that added stiffness. And the USD forks and things, which is sort of part and parcel now with a lot of bikes anyway. It was a relatively new thing a few years ago, but with the USD forks, it is again there is benefits to it there.
Headlight then.
So that's Harley Davidson's on the special. It's Harley Davidson's adaptive daymaker. So the daymaker with Harley Davidson is your premium headlight that you can get.
Yeah.
But then they go above and beyond the premium headlight and go with the adaptive daymaker, which then illuminates certain sides of the road depending on bank angle and the lean angle of the bike.
Right.
So it helps you to see through the corners as well.
Yeah.
And they are very aptly named with daymaker because they are ridiculous.
Right.
Especially when you go from the normal standard headlights and then you put a daymaker on.
Yeah.
The difference is phenomenal. So the cash price of this on this finance quote here is for your standard 1250S. They're coming at retail of 15.5, which I think is priced very well.
It is.
Yeah. It's very well. It's very on the money with where it should have been. And then obviously, like every other brand, you've got your added extras like your tank bags, your boxes, your different screens.
But it's always nice to see it sort of fully kitted out. It gives you that idea of potentially what you can do.
Yeah.
Tom, going back to the switches and everything else.
Yeah.
Are they illuminated or?
I don't believe so. No. I do know with Harley's other bikes, so especially with the touring models, they do have backlit switches that you can get as a P&A part. So I'd have thought they'd bring it to this.
So basically, we tweak, we don't change. The mic tweaking. Time to go.
I'd have thought so. Yeah. Harley Davidson do that very well. Is that they do tweak and listen to what us as a dealership are saying about customers and what the customers are saying themselves. The externally laced wheels, or spokes as English people call them. Yeah. But again, that goes back to your easy maintenance. If you are doing major off-roading, it's if something happened to a spoke, which can happen. Things can happen and things can go wrong. It's back to that point of it's easy to do. Well, not necessarily easy, but it's simple. Yeah. And you don't have to pop your tyre off. You don't have to go down that route of doing anything complicated.
So again, it's not pretending to be an off-roader. It's a genuine.
It is a very capable off-road.
Another thing, Tom, as well is, do you have a choice of tyres? So obviously,
the dual white walls on it.
Are these Michelin's?
These are Michelin's that have worked with Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson and Michelin work quite close together, and with Dunlop, and they've got specific tyres for models in the range.
Service intervals.
Service intervals will be the same as most Harleys. You've got your first service at 1,000, 5, 10, 15, or yearly, whichever comes first.
Right. Just to finalise, what warranty does come with this bike?
So it comes with a 2-year factory warranty, which we can extend if you wanted to. You'd still be covered under the same terms.
Excellent. Well, can I just say thank you for your time?
It's alright, it's my pleasure.
It's been absolutely amazing, and we've learned a lot of things there.
Yeah. So if you are genuinely interested in this kind of bike, and I have to say, in real life, in the flesh, it looks pretty spectacular. Take a trip down to Harley Davidson in Leeds. They'll be here to look after you. Tom won't be, because Tom's off on his next adventure. But Tom,
I'm only off going for a few days. So I will be here, but there's a few of us here. If like you've said, do phone up. We are not appointment only at the basis of the COVID rules and things like that.
Yeah.
But do come down. We can get you out on a test ride. You know, we're not necessarily obligation test ride.
Yeah.
If you ring me up and say I'd like to demo it, we'll get you out a demo. We can get you down. Just give us a ring or email, or I'm sure you can put.
We'll put a link in the description below. Yeah.
But yeah, just come down, have a look round, and we'll have a chat. We'll look after you, and we'll get you out on some demo rides, and you can test ride it and actually sort of be one of the first to get on the Pan America.
Brilliant. All right, brilliant. Thanks very much for taking the time, Tom.
I'll shake your hand, but we're not allowed.
Oh, we'll give it the old. There you go. All right. So, like I say, if you're interested, pop down to Harley Davidson at Leeds. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, well, we're not interested, but please leave us a comment or any questions in the box below, and if we can't answer them, we'll get somebody else to do it for us. All right, until the next one, I've been Stuart, Graham's been on the camera. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.